It's the gift that keeps on giving. Hello and welcome. It is 12 noon. It is the 18th day of May, 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM. And if you're not aware, I just posted a vlog about an hour ago on the current whole safety tools in D&D role-playing game things. And I thought I made a relatively open-minded, educational, well-researched comment, based, of course, within the confines of the established parameters of my vlog, which is tongue-in-cheek, and I am an asshole, and I do portray the character of a heel. That said, somebody took umbrage with my educational video and said that apparently I'm not aware how the safety tools work. Now, having been there when the whole safety tools thing first began, having taken part in games run by Solomon and Keating and Balbo, having been on the Forge for a very long time, having, experienced this, I say with some level of expertise that I do know this, how the safety tools work. More importantly, because I have had them used on me, and I have been in a position where I've used them. And I do have a reputation and a history of, if something's going on from a game, of taking a break. That is my Xcard. Whether it's because of my real life or my anxiety issues or whatever, there have been times in my history where either as a DM or as a player, I have said, and I believe I have said very reasonably, I need a break. This isn't working for me. Sometimes I don't return to the game. Sometimes I take a week or two off and do return to the game. 50% of the time, it was okay. 50% of the time, people assume that I am an adult and have issues just like everybody else, and I need to deal with those issues, and whether it was an issue with the game or issue with my life, whatever. I made it clear, and I didn't insult anyone, and I was very pragmatic, and I walked away. Now, about a year ago, I was in a gaming experience at a game store. At a game store, I assume there are certain rules in place to make sure everybody at the table and within listening distance is comfortable with what's going on. It was established that this was a game that was using the current interpretation of the 5th edition rules, and things like Xcards and consent were in play. Now, I was already having a very bad week, and I was looking forward to a couple hours of fun to maybe work through my bad mood and the stress that was in, and my PTS and all the other things. And maybe a game would have been a breath of fresh air. Now, maybe I was not in a position where I should have been in public, but I assume that gaming at a game store where certain rules had already been established was a safe space. There I go, using that word, safe space. And for 3 hours, I could play a little D&D, laugh, drink some soda, goof off with my friends, beat up some bad guys, get some treasure, and then go back home. And it might have been a fun way to get out and deal whatever. A certain situation arose where my anxiety was triggered. I addressed the situation. The individual continued to push the buttons of myself and other people at the table. I was not the only one upset by what was happening. More so, this individual is violating the established rules of the game and the game store, and basically being an asshole for the sake that they could, and seeing how far they could get and how many people they could have set. Now, I was placed in a position where I had several options. I could have responded with anger. I could have responded, with, hey, can we take a break and discuss what this is? But I didn't want to ruin anybody else's fun. So myself and one other individual who had reached the limit, and I was in a place where I was like, look, this is triggering my anxiety. I'm going to play my Xcard because we have established that that is a thing in this game. And there is going to be no negative response to me doing this. So I said, hey, this isn't working for me. I'm playing my Xcard. I don't want to ruin anybody else's fun. You're running a great game, GM, but obviously I need to take a break. I'll see you next week. So I packed up. My departing did not affect the story in any way, shape, or form. Myself and the other individual who were equally upset agreed that this was not working. We packed up and we walked away. We played the Xcard. We advocated for ourselves as was established. And in return, we expected, as was established, that was okay. Except, of course, it wasn't. Here is the ironic seesaw that is this whole paradigm of player consent. I did not give my consent to be placed in a situation where my anxiety was going to be triggered, right? That's the whole point of this. More so, I was under the assumption that because I was playing at a game store, a store-sponsored game, certain rules were in place. They were printed out. I believe I brought that up in my video. They were printed out. We all agreed, and yet this one individual did not. I chose to leave. That should have been okay. Except, of course, it wasn't. Within 10 minutes of leaving, I started to receive texts. These were not, hey, are you okay texts? These were, how dare you texts. Furthermore, when I went on the website that was sponsored by this game store and apologized and tried to explain that, hey, I don't blame the store or the DM, I was in a situation, my anxiety was triggered, I chose to leave, whatever, moving on. It was still a great game. I still enjoy and appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you very much. The responses to that post were not, hey, we understand. Hey, all is good. Hey, you followed the rules and played the Xcard and this individual did not. No. The responses were, and I can show them to you if you want, how dare you? Fuck off. Go ahead and die if you can't handle this game. Maybe our store isn't a place you should be playing. Not everybody thinks the way you should. You're playing wrong. So, I am well aware, individual who said that I'm not aware of how the X cards work with the safety rules of TNDR. I followed the safety rules as they were printed. I advocated for myself, as you claim we're supposed to, following your stupid Xcard safety rules. And because of that, because I followed the rules, I was ostracized. I was attacked. Myself and the other individual were basically told, don't come back. Fuck you. Fuck you. You played the Xcard, but apparently this guy triggering your anxiety was okay. Because really the Xcard is bullshit. It's only useful if it helps whatever. I played it. I was ostracized. I assume that's happened before. So it's bullshit. Because even though we all agreed that this existed, when it was actually used, when the rules were played, the individuals, instead of going, hey, we understand, move along, you're welcome back, attacked me and my fellow player. So do not tell me I don't know how the safety tools are written. I just don't think they work. What does work is conversations before and after the game. What does work is open communication between the DM and the players, as long as it does not interfere with the game once the game has begun. What does work is session fucking 0, establishing the physics of the game, making those physics available to every individual who approaches the game, printing them out on a big giant poster like these guys did. But then when you print them out, you need to respect and follow them. So if you're running a game where there are X cards and somebody plays an X card, that individual should not be ostracized. But I was. So fuck you for thinking I don't know how they work. They don't until they do. And then they don't. And maybe the situation would have been different another day. I don't know. All I do know is what I just said. And if you don't appreciate what's going on my vlog or my opinion or my insight or my experience, there are millions other vlogs out there that you might appreciate. Let me help you find one that does. Because despite being a professional heel, I'm not here to upset you. I'm not here to offend you. If you are upset, we can trade back at insults back and forth for as long as you want. Inevitably, I'm going to win because I'm smart and I'm snarky. But rather than invest that energy in attacking people, let me help you invest that energy in finding a solution. If you don't like me, let me find something you do like. If you don't like my game, let me help you find a game you do like. If the game you want to play doesn't exist, take that energy and write it. The individuals who attacked me and ostracized me and the other individual who left the game should have used that energy in a more productive way. And I did what I always do. I used the energy rather than attacking them. I went, okay, your loss, not mine. I'm going to find a game I do want to play in. And I'm going to take the energy and the lesson that I learned and use it productively further on. I'm going to pay it forward, which is what I do with this vlog. Now, obviously, the way I do it is twisted into a certain fraction. It is very tongue-in-cheek. It is very sarcastic. It is very snarky. It is very egregious. I am a professional heel. So if you don't appreciate that, get off my land.